So in summary, before we get to the questions, is we showed how electric tankless water heaters save energy. We showed how much water is wasted and how much water we believe you can save. We showed the different unique deployment of the product within the home and the systems change, and as well as the backup sources for using these when you use advanced technologies. Dismiss the myth on the power issues, and then finally recommending some different changes on how to measure the efficiency at the point of use rather than the water heater. Any questions? Okay. Yeah, so the question is, how does the return on investment compare to gas water heaters? The key differentiation on gas water heaters is it's very difficult to take a gas water heater and deploy them the way we're talking about deploying them at the point of use, because it's unusual to have gas lines throughout your entire house at the point of use. So the big savings is going to be with the water savings and the energy to use in the savings. So it'll be typically from a cost point of view, gas is probably going to be more efficient from a cost point of view. But gas typically is only, about 62% efficient, where electric tankless water heaters are 99% efficient, but the cost of gas is typically less. So, but when you take the point of view savings into it with electricity, it's very comparable or even better than a gas story. Does that make sense? You just cannot bring gas heaters at the point of use like you can the electric.
That I understand, but the cost of operating a single gas water heater compared to a single tankless electric.
Yeah. Yeah, typically gas is going to be a little bit cheaper to use, but you do have a lot of the wasted water that you can't get it with that. But it also depends on what part of the country you're in. Like if you have lower electricity costs, it's comparable. If you have high electricity costs, it's probably a cheaper way to use to gas. It's a regional issue. That's right. Yeah. Good. Any other questions?
I've been hearing that one of the issues about electricity is it was a generator just holding power while you didn't convert that power to efficiency.
Yeah.
Huge loss on efficiency of creating electricity.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of the site versus source question, where you have a lot of losses between the power generation getting to the home. So there's a lot of work going on in the power industry, and I'm told that in California, as an example, that they're going to have 22% of their power is going to be generated from renewable sources, whether it's wind, hydro, or solar. Okay. The key there is that using electricity to heat the water is the only technology using electricity that allows you to use renewable sources. So as our economy goes towards using more renewable sources, it makes a lot of sense to start using electricity rather than gas, because you can use renewable sources. Does that make sense? But there are the losses. Right, and it's, we're into this. The thought is that, it's going to be a long time till you get there, and this is kind of a long-term strategy, and the more that we go towards renewable sources, the more this technology makes sense, and that's kind of the strategy of the U.S. is to use more renewable sources. Any other questions? Okay.
Just, as far as the meeting the standards and codes, how does this product comply with other types of water heaters, electric or gas? I mean, it complies with standards and codes?
So the question is, does it comply with standards and codes? Yeah, right. They're, Underwriters Laboratory approved. There is currently in the codes today, there's allowable for up to 12 kW within the codes. What we're working on with the code boards, the ashtrays and so on, and the IAPMOs is to get them into the national registry for above 12 kW. Okay, so we need to upgrade the codes, and we're working with legislation right now through the coalition to make that happen.
So
Yeah.
of course complies with the standards, so it is a certified product, but as far
Right.
as codes, right now the codes really go up to 12 kilowatt, and this of course takes more energy, so you're working with the code bodies to get this into
Right. Well, no, they're acceptable at a local code level. I'm talking about the efficiency level measuring
I see.
within
For safety wise it complies.
Oh, for
but
safety-wise, it's
but
fine,
you get
yeah.
about performance and efficiency.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's probably about a million and a half units installed base currently for these products. So, I think the other message is that because, like, if you look at Europe as an example, I believe 37% of water heaters in Europe use this technology. And the reason for that is that Europe doesn't have the resources that America has, and so they conserve water more, they conserve electricity more. So because they're trying to conserve electricity and water, they're using this technology. In America, we're finally coming to the realization that we have a problem and a challenge as well.
This is not a new technology.
It's not new technology at all. No. But the technology, I guess, it's probably been using 75 years, but the products have changed a lot to allow them to have higher kWs to be able to serve a bigger need. And so, the units from 75 years ago weren't as efficient and weren't as user friendly as they are today. Right. That's right. So the designs to be able to have enough with the clusters is to have enough power to handle the clusters. Is the technologies allowed us to advance to be able to serve the entire home with multiple units, as an example. That's a good point. Yep.
I'm curious to know is that from the coalition standpoint, one of the things that I still am a bit mystified about is taking electric water heaters of any kind off of the energy star program. Largely because the program is about increasing efficiency.
Right.
And for electric water heaters themselves, you're pretty much at the limit. On the other hand, there's a lot of areas in the country where the power source of gas isn't very limited.
Right.
Power source is limited to electric. They're not encouraging anybody to make sure that they buy.
No, that's a good point. So the question is, what about Energy Star and the technology? So if somebody has electricity, there's really only one Energy Star qualified heater, and that's what they call the heat pump water heater. And that's not right for everybody everywhere, okay? So that's their only choice, and they just have gotten introduced recently in the marketplace, so the jury's still out on how they're going to perform. But so if someone has electricity and they want to get an efficient product, they don't really have much of a choice today. So when you take into account the point of view savings and the water savings, there's a real story there. And the purpose of the coalition that we formed was to get that message out, to be able to communicate that and to work with the Energy Star and the EPA to get them to be Energy Stars certified. We're making very good progress in that area. Matter of fact, electric tankless water heaters are currently in the Homestar bill right now, in the one that was passed by the House last Thursday, and now we're working with the Senate to get them included in the Homestar bill as well. Yeah, so people are starting to wake up and look at the technology and say, yeah, you're right, there are real opportunities here.
Yeah, so I mean, if it is in Homestar, I mean, what is the approach as far as Energy Star is concerned? Is this Energy Star is looking into this?
Yes, the coalition met with the EPA last week to understand what they're trying to measure, and their goal is to try to have technologies that are 25% better than the standard, and we showed where we're about 42% better than the standard if you take into account the water savings. And so when you look at the EPA, they have a water sense program, they have an Energy Star program, and we're kind of between both of them. So we're working with the EPA to figure out how do we equate the water savings and the energy savings to be able to get an Energy Star program. And so we had an excellent meeting, we're making progress to that in that front.